Hi friends! So we have been reading the story Room on the Broom. And just like last week when we were talking about the parts of a story for Pouch, we know that there are characters, setting, beginning, middle, end. And so today we're going to be working on characters for our new story, Room on the Broom. And we've already talked about the characters a little bit, and today you get to make some character puppets so that we can retell, just like we did retell for Pouch. So here's what you're going to need. You're going to need your bag, your brown bag that has these little pieces of paper. They're kind of a thick paper. I want you to watch all the directions because some of you have not been watching all the directions and you start cutting and you mess things up and then you get frustrated. So watch all the directions. So you're going to need these. You're going to need your scissors. You're going to need a dark marker. I'm using black marker. You might want to use markers. You might want to use crayons or colored pencils for coloring. I'm going to use markers today and I'll show you why. So get all your materials and then come back. All right, friends. So to get started, we have 6 characters and there are 6 characters drawn here for you already. We have the witch, the dragon, the frog, the crow, the dog, and the cat. Now, I don't know if you can see, but there are some scissors here showing that these are supposed to be cut out. I'm going to show you a trick to make sure you don't mess up your puppet because your puppets are going to have to be able to get on your broom that's also in your bag. And if you don't do them properly, they won't fit on your broom and you might get frustrated. So I'm going to take a dark marker. You can pick a dark colored crayon or a dark marker. And before I do anything else, I'm going to trace around the outside of this puppet. You see this bottom part? This is the important part that makes it into a puppet. So I'm going to trace around it and make it really dark. Trace means just to draw right over top of it. So it's a little easier to see the line that I have to cut when I cut my puppets out. So I want you to take a dark marker or a crayon and I want you to trace over these lines nice and dark. When you're done, come back and I'll give you the next step. All right, as you can see, I traced around all of the outside of my puppets. Now, the next thing you're gonna wanna do is color them. And I know that they're very, very small, and I know that they're kind of dark. The printer made them very dark. So I'm choosing to use markers today because I think you'll be able to see it a little bit better. Now, when I say I'm using markers, I'm not gonna take the marker and color like this over the whole thing. I'm gonna try my best to color it in and try to stay a little bit in the lines. Now, if marker is too hard for you, you could use crayon. You could even use colored pencil. You just are gonna have to color kind of dark with crayons because these puppets turned out really dark, but it'll be fine. So I'm gonna add a little color. I'm gonna color the wand, put a little color on the wand. I'm even gonna use a crayon. I have my crayons here. I'm gonna use a crayon for the background because the background won't be so hard to color. So I'm gonna color in the background to make my puppets look better. I just think puppet shows look better when the whole thing is colored. So your next step is to color all of your puppets. Take your time. I'm gonna put a little bow in her hair. I'm gonna make her face green like a witch. And you can see I'm kind of going out of the lines because it's a little hard to do with these small little puppets. I'm gonna color over the dark part. All right, I want you to color all your puppets and then meet me back here. We're gonna finish this project. All right, so you should have colored all your puppets. I wanna show you the next step after you've colored them all. So I colored this one and colored the background. I colored this one in the background and I colored this one. I didn't get the background colored, but I want you to color them all first. Then the next step is going to be cutting. Now remember, fingers on the bottom, thumb on top. I've been seeing some people been switching their hand around. We want the fingers on the bottom. They're sinking to the bottom. And this hand, the fingers are on the bottom also to hold the paper. Now I want you to cut around that dark line that you made. This can get a little tricky. So if you need help when you get to the bottom part, ask someone, ask an adult for help, because you can't cut this off. If you cut this bottom part off, you won't be able to make your puppet. So I want you to cut and turn, do your best. Cut and turn, 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 turn. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. See how I have to turn the corner, or big corner here? And I cut, 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 cut. Okay? Now this is what it should look like. It should have a rectangle at the bottom attached to the puppet. I want you to cut all your puppets out and then come back, and I'm gonna give you the next step. You guys are doing great. All right. Once you get them all cut out, I have all mine cut out. I'm just going to show you these first ones. You are going to turn them into a finger puppet this time. We're not putting a stick on this time. We're turning them into a finger puppet. And this is a little tricky. So you definitely are going to probably want to ask a family member to help you with the taping, because you have to take this rectangle and twist it around to make a loop like this. Do you see how I have a loop? It's a circle. I pulled the two edges around and stuck them together with my fingers. So I'm just holding them together, the back of the puppet. But now I have to tape them. So it's a little tricky to tape and hold at the same time. So I'm gonna ask you to make sure and get an adult to help you. So I have a piece of tape on my finger. I'm gonna wrap that around. Do you see how that's wrapped around? And then I have to tape it closed so that it ends up being a little hole in there. Then it turns into a finger puppet. You put your finger in and you have a finger puppet. The reason you want to be really careful with this is because these finger puppets are going to be able to fit on the broom. Remember, our story is Room on the Broom. So all the puppets will be able to slide on the broom. If you don't put this little loop on there, they won't stay. If they're flat, look, they don't stay. So let me show you one more how to make it. I'm gonna get a little piece of tape ready on my finger. I'm gonna take this rectangle, I'm gonna bend it around. It's very hard. If you were in the classroom, Miss O and I would be helping you, but you're gonna need a family member to help you. Tape it shut, and now I have a loop. And now my crow can fit on there, and my bird can fit on there, and my witch can fit on there. They can slide onto the broom. I'm gonna show you the rest of my puppets. So I have my dragon. Oops, he got squished. It's got a loop. Dragon. I have my dog. And I have my cat. Has a little loop, kind of got squished. And I have my frog. Put them all on the broom. All right, then they all fit on the broom. Tap, tap, and whoosh, they were gone. Except the dragon's not gonna go on the broom, right? Just the other characters. This dragon's gonna be flying through the air on my finger. So, boys and girls, when you're done with taping with your family member, you're gonna take all your puppets and your broom. You're gonna put them back in your brown bag. You're gonna make sure if you borrowed tape from someone, you return it to them so they can trust you. You're gonna put all your crayons and markers away and keep these things, and Miss O and Miss Light will tell you what to do with them next.